All right, let's talk today about persuasive writing. Probably my favorite type of writing. And I think in general, most students enjoy persuasive writing more than other types of writing because you get to have a viewpoint on something and share it with others. And let's face it, most of us have strong viewpoints about certain things. And when we have a strong viewpoint, we want others to understand why. It's human nature to want to help people. And if we believe that, there need to be stronger rules and regulations on animal rights, then we want to go out there and explain why and fight it. It's something that people want to do, and that's what persuasive writing does. You find a point that you believe in, and you find an argument that you want to fight for, and you do it through your words. But there's definitely a couple important things. So let's talk about what persuasive writing is, and then how to make your persuasive argument as strong and solid as possible. We will find persuasive writing in all fields of life. In nursing, in the world of nursing or doctors, patients need to follow a treatment plan. In the world of law, you're presenting your case at a trial. A lawyer's out there arguing that someone is innocent or guilty. Education, we're often persuading administration for changes in curriculum or trying to get parents involved. There's a huge push for parents with children under 3. You need to read to your children. It's going to promote early literacy. Studies prove that the more that a parent reads to a young child, the easier reading and reading comprehension will be for that child. So people might want to fight for that. Also, teachers are always persuading their students on the information they're teaching and why they need to learn it. Physical therapy, getting patients to do their exercises. Maybe you have a patient who doesn't want to have to do this hard work at home and they're not doing it, and you have to try to promote them to a better well being through using rehab techniques at home and not just with you as a physical therapist. In the business and sales world, well, you're persuading customers that the item is priced right and that it's a good deal. So, when you're writing persuasively, you introduce the issue that you are debating. You explain the situation first and you put your thesis in the middle or at the end. So let's say that you're going to persuade people that they need to vaccinate their children. Your intro paragraph needs to tell what vaccinations are, why we use them, and then you have to have a stance. And you could be for or against it. You could say you're against it, or you could say you're for it. Now, here's a tip in persuasive writing and writing in general. When you're writing persuasively, you want to use what's called an although statement. An although statement proves that you as a writer have looked at both sides of the argument and you feel your way and your point of view regardless. So, although vaccines have, trying to think what they have in them, although vaccines have chemicals or although vaccines have controversial ingredients in them, more children are saved by the protection of vaccines than are harmed by the ingredients. Something in that type of some statement like that to back up what your point of view is. Your thesis statement needs to be at the middle or at the end. In general, for a persuasive essay, the last line of the first paragraph is an ideal spot to put your thesis statement. Making a claim, make a definite statement about what you believe. You want to be firm in your language. You are not saying, um, I believe we need stronger gun control laws. Mm-mm. Our country needs stronger gun control laws to save the lives of innocent men, women, and children. Firm, strong language. No one cares what you believe or what you think. That's weak. Anytime that you write that, if you have a habit of writing it, go ahead and write it, but then after go back and eliminate it all. And you'll see the transformation of how much stronger your writing and your language becomes. Okay, so third person, you're writing academically, you're not using your eyes in it, and I want this, or in my opinion, doesn't matter. Support your claim with an appeal. An ethical appeal is trustworthy writer. An emotional appeal comes from the heart, and a logical appeal uses reasons, facts, statistics, and examples. Focus on putting those types of appeals in your paper. You do want to connect and bond with your reader because any bond that you can make is going to make your argument stronger and it's going to make the reader more likely to follow suit in your belief. But you need to make sure you're using reasons and facts to back up what your emotional beliefs are. So you're stating that something should be done, but you're showing facts and statistics to prove why. When you are writing, you are thinking of your reader. You are technically having a conversation with them through writing. So let's say your audience, also known as your reader, is a doctor. You are going to speak or write very differently about a medical treatment to a doctor than you would to a patient. With one of them, you're going to be using terminology and things like that that a medical person would understand. When you're speaking to a patient on the flip side, your conversation becomes very different because you're doing an explanation, you're being reassuring. Same type of situation happens with a teacher. Let's say that you are talking to your superintendent about your curriculum and about your students. Your conversation with your superintendent is going to be very different than the conversation you would have with a student's parent about behavior. So know who your reader is. You are not talking to your teacher when you're writing a persuasive essay. You are talking to the group of people you want to persuade. So if you're fighting that vaccinations should be mandatory and everyone should vaccinate their children, your target group are non-vaccinating parents. That's who you're talking to. That's who you are connecting to. So you don't want to sit there and bash them and complain about that, about who they are and what they're doing, because they're not going to take your point of view seriously. You want to share your point of view, acknowledge their reasoning, and use statistics and facts to back up why you have the point of view you have. Organize and support your claim. Essay setup, deductive reasoning. Okay, so you're going to go from general, have a general topic out there, gun control, police brutality, and then make it specific. Do some searching or use your bubble chart to think of what specifically do you want to talk about. Something like gun control, there's too much out there. Where are you going with it? Are you talking about school shootings? Are you talking about laws and regulations? Are you talking about accidental shootings? You have to narrow it down to more specific point for you to come up with a thesis statement. Major premise to minor premise to conclusion, and then inductive reasoning. Okay, so this is to have deductive reasoning. In deductive reasoning, when you're arguing, you're going to go from the specific to the general points of views. To backtrack that, actually, we'll open up this because I do want to talk some more about, in general, what you're doing when you are writing a persuasive essay. You really need to look at your writing in general. Make sure there's not a point where you start whining and complaining. Sometimes when we're trying to fight our argument, it turns into kind of a complain fest. Make sure you're not doing that. This is a very academic type of essay where you are finding statistics, where you're putting your beliefs out there and backing it up with statistics, with research to prove it. So you're going to make sure that you have citations in your essay. You are looking at what people have done research on this say, what experts in the field say, and you are using those to back up or prove what your point is. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to focus on. I'm just glancing at my notes. I think that's basically the background on how to start a persuasive essay. And you just want to go out there and really just prove your point of view in the best way you can. And I definitely recommend that you don't judge your essay by the first draft. Write a draft and then go back and figure out what you can do to make it stronger. Step away from it for a little bit, go back and fix it. Okay, that's it for persuasive writing. Thanks for watching this video.